Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Final segment here on this Monday as we get you set for the Braves and Phillies tomorrow night. Before we get into that and what is in store for the New York Mets, now time for a Shovel of Wisdom.
Brace yourselves because it's time for the Shovel of Wisdom.
You know how we do it. We love to whack people right upside the head, set them straight for saying or doing something stupid. And today, my shovel goes to Cordero Patterson. We talked about this a little bit before. But you know what's interesting is that people just really don't get it. Cordero Patterson, who tweets at C/P84, that's CE/PE84. Right after the Deshaun Watson punishment was handed down, he tweeted a picture of him and Calvin Ridley together and just wrote, "Free my dog." Him, like everybody else, again, perplexed at the idea that Calvin Ridley had got a year suspension and that Deshaun Watson only got 6 games. Folks, if it has to do with the integrity of the game and the on-the-field product, the NFL will swing the heaviest, hardest hammer it can at you. This is not up for debate. And someone said to me, "He wasn't even playing in that game. What's the big deal?" Hey, stupid. He knows everybody on the team. He knows the entire playbook. He scouted the other team's defense. He's essentially a coach making a wager. He has more hidden information than anybody. And even if he didn't use it, he has access to it. And he could have used it. He could have made a point. We don't know if he did or he didn't. He probably didn't. But that's not the point. Doing anything that could affect the outcome of a game on the field is not up for negotiation. It's why PED penalties are so harsh. It's why the NFL looks so seriously at the rule book and refereeing so much. It's why anything that has to do, it's why Deflategate existed, as I said earlier. Because if you could have gotten a modicum of advantage because the ball was slightly underinflated, guess what? That's an integrity of the game issue. You cannot have it. Period. There is no room for negotiation in this. There never will be. And anybody trying to compare any of this stuff, for crying out loud, Leonard Little, you might not know who he is, look him up. Dante Stewart, you might not know who he is, look him up. Both killed a person with their car and were allowed to play again in the league. If they aren't being kicked out of the league forever, what are we talking about here? So let's not pretend, and oh, by the way, it was a DUI accident. So it wasn't like, oh, it was an accident. No, both Leonard Little and Dante Stewart were DUI manslaughter felonies or felons that went back on the football field and played. So don't do this kind of stuff. CP Flash, C Flash P. Don't do it. I mean, just don't, because it's not. You're not paying attention, especially as a football player. Somebody in the league doing it, you're saying, okay, gambling isn't that big of a deal. The integrity of the game isn't that big of a deal. From somebody who's on the field. Really? Really? Gotta wake up, man. Like, this is just not smart. Not smart at all. What else is not smart is pitching to Austin Riley after having a one hell of a July, and I mean hell of a July. It is interesting to note that, there is a lot of steam Austin Riley's way in the MVP race. Talked about this last week, right? And Braves have an off day tonight. They'll take on the Phillies tomorrow. And oh, by the way, also tomorrow, Jacob deGrom is going to start for the Mets, which means he will face the Braves in their weekend series. I think it's slated for Sunday. If it goes on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's 4. Sunday is 5. So that's just something to note, that the Mets are going to see Scherzer and deGrom in their 5 games going up against them from Thursday to Sunday. Back to Riley here for a moment, because Riley right now is only top 5 in home runs in Major League Baseball, but yet he's top 10 in pretty much everything else. Not batting average, although he is over 300. You're talking about home runs top 10, RBIs top 10, WAR top 10, slugging top 10. I mean, he's there every single category. He has absolutely put together another monster season. I'm going to just give you, he's fifth right now in WAR. In OPS, I think he is also fifth. Where do they have him? Austin Riley. No, he's sixth. Sorry. I'm curious where he is in on base percentage. I know because he hits a lot of home runs, but 360, he's down near like 20s. But again, home runs and RBIs, top 10 as well. He is ninth in RBIs and he's fourth in home runs. Average wise at 3.0, whatever he's batting right now, he's 17th, so tied for 15th, batting at 3.01. So he's having this amazing year. And again, he's now become the second favorite in the NL to win the NL MVP. People are starting to take notice. Here's what's going against Austin Riley in the MVP race, in the MVP candidacy. By most accounts, he's not even the best player on his own team. And that hurts you. That absolutely hurts you. There's a strange argument out there for Shohei Ohtani to win the AL MVP because when he doesn't pitch, they don't win a game. Because the rest of the team sucks around him isn't a qualifier for getting the MVP. That's not how it works. That just means you have 25 other bad guys on your roster. Well, 24, because Trout's probably better than Ohtani from my book when he's healthy. Beyond all that, because Ronald Acuna is more noted, more known, and more of a household name, and if you ask 100 non-Braves fans, name an Atlanta Brave, as I said last week, they'll tell you Ronald Acuna. They won't say Austin Riley. That doesn't mean that Riley should be precluded from winning it. But for some reason, that's the stuff that sticks with voters, and it's really tough to overcome. It really is. I don't think Riley is going without a insane last 2 months, and that's on top of a very insane July. You might not be able to get this thing done as far as winning the MVP, but we'll see. Goldschmidt, by the way, from St. Louis is the odds-on favorite. For a guy who's batting 329, he's got 24 home runs, 78 RBIs. I think he's second or third in RBIs. He's fourth. And he's like second in WAR this year, third as a matter of fact. His OPS is also over 1,000, I think he's second or third. So he's top three in a lot more categories than Riley is, to say the least. So that's why he's the favorite. And again, Braves get an off day tonight. They will start a 2-game series with the Phillies coming up, and that's in Philadelphia, if I am correct. No, actually, it's here at Truist. Sorry. Here at Truist. And then they will face the Mets at Citi Field 4 or 5 games in 4 days. Major League Baseball trade deadline tomorrow. Nothing on the trade deadline front yet. Will we see a move before the end of today, depending on when you're listening to this, or tomorrow before the deadline? My fingers are crossed. I hope so. Without Ronald Acuna being regular Ronald Acuna, I don't know if this team has enough to get through. And again, questions around Ian Anderson and Charlie Morton, for me, those guys wouldn't be starting in the playoffs. You see what Max Street can do. You see what Spencer Strider can do. You see what Kyle Wright can do. Although Anderson did pitch well this weekend. He's probably going to get another start. Let's see how it goes. And that start may be against. Let me just see what the schedule looks like real quick. Because he starts against the Mets, stinks it up. That could be problematic, at least for a chance for him to get another look into the rotation. So tomorrow it's Strider going, and it's Charlie Morton. So Thursday it looks like it's Ian Anderson in the first matchup with the Mets. All right, that'll do it for us today here on A to Z. Make sure you check out all the other shows here. Again, make A to Z your first listen. Don't forget to make ATL Day 1 for Travis Davis and your second listen right here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. You guys have a fabulous Monday. Back tomorrow. Don't pay the crap for anybody.